Hello, this is a Harboring Light. I'm Mary. I give commentary and observations about the world around me from a conservative point of view. Thank you so much to my listeners. I really greatly appreciate that. As I like to do in the beginning of the show, I like to give you all the information where you can find me. Now, I'm on Spotify, and please feel free to use the comment section that's on Spotify. I'm looking to make this podcast more interactive so I can engage with all of you, and I can understand and hear what your thoughts and concerns are and everything of that nature. And I'm also looking to make a podcast where and as this show grows, where I can talk about the comments and engage with you a whole lot more. And then I'm also looking to add on to that, looking to move on to different social platforms to engage with all of you as this podcast grows, as the community grows. So please take advantage of that on Spotify. And I'm also on iHeartRadio. I'm on Anchor. And I'm on Audible. All right, so let's get into the topic. Hobbies. Now, I think it's important to have a hobby. Now, when you have hobbies, I think that helps you build something that's just uniquely you. And you can also do things that can make you more engaged and more build a sense of more direction when you have a particular hobby. And also, depending on different points of view, this is just from my particular point of view. When you have a hobby, I think that you can that could lead to figuring out what your purpose is, or that could lead to a career or things of that nature. So, for instance, let's say a particular hobby that you have, wood carving, let's say, and that could give you a particular career path of wanting to be a skilled furniture designer, or to do specialty types of things, or what have you. And let's say, for instance, you like to build things, you like infrastructure, that could lead to a career possibly in engineering or things of that nature. Or let's say, for instance, which me particularly, that's what I enjoy more so, graphic design. Let's say you're very interested in art and design, and that's a huge passion for you. You're just very drawn to that. You could, throughout time, realize, this is a particular career path I would want to take. I can see myself doing. And that's very beneficial because you start to understand your purpose. You start to understand the the directions and the guides of what you want to do, where you want to go. And let's say particularly literature, and let's say technology. I really enjoy technology. Let's say those things that you particularly like. And literature, you could use that as a calling or purpose to help a community for literacy, to talk about the importance of literacy and reading, and which that is, and understanding that reading can help you understand things more profoundly, help you understand the world around you, and to be able to write well and to communicate what you're writing to others well can help you become a leader, and that can inspire and help children, and that can inspire and help parents, and it's just a wave and just a downlink chain of good that can happen from that. And also with technology, you can use that as a platform to understand the importance of technology and what it can bring to you, and how it can make your life simple and make things better, and the importance of balance with technology, and how you can maneuver yourself with how you want to use technology in your day-to-day life, or how you don't want to use technology in your day-to-day life, and to understand the importance of that. Now, I think that understanding those things from a psychological point of view too, to meld these things in to this particular topic, you can start to have a better sense of understanding and knowing that it's more important to be who I am and who I want to be, versus who someone says that I should be, or what I see on TV says that I should be. You start to, I think, meld that reality together. And I think once you understand that, you start to have a better sense of self, and you start to have an understanding of knowing where you see yourself in the world around you, and you start to know where things lie as far as what your boundaries are, as far as how you want to think, as far as how you want to perceive things. And you start to, I think, want to really understand what is being said, and how things are being said, and question what things are being said, because you start to have this sense of direction from understanding yourself better through these hobbies and through all of this. And you start to do healthier things. I think you start to want to be a part of a community. You start to want to just not feel like you're alone in things. You start to want to understand humans a lot better, want to understand yourself a lot better, want to understand that, we are together as far as trying to make our purpose and direction in life, that things are not always so black and white, that there's a lot of intertwined things that comes with being a human. There's a lot of intertwined things that comes with what goes on in the world around us. There's a lot of intertwined things that comes in nature. There's a lot of things that to pay attention to. And building hobbies, you start to have also, to further this conversation, you start to build discipline, I think. So when you start to build discipline, you start to challenge yourself, and you start to say, well, if I can do this, I can do that. And you start to have realistic goals, I believe. So let's say you like to build model trains. That comes without that being said, a lot of different hobbies, you have to take your time, and you have to know that it's a progress. But with in particular, I think that building model trains is so much that it is involved with that, because you have to know how to scale it right. That depending on if you want to physically make it, or you just want to just build it from already made materials, what have you. You have to understand those things. You have to understand the details of how you want it to look, how you want it to versus how you want the texture to feel, versus if you want it to be out of paper, if you want it to be out of wood, or what have you. You start to think about and plan for all these things, and that you start to say, okay, if I want to put in this work to make this particular model look this way, I want to put my ethics and works and understanding into the way I want to do things with my career, or let's think about this, or the way you want to build your purpose, what have you, if you want to build your purpose with your family, how you want to do things of that nature. And so much can be involved with that by simply taking the time to build the hobby outside of work, or outside of things that are on the surface level of living life. You start to just have more pride and more involvement, I believe. And from that, you start to deepen the conversation within others to say, for instance, if you notice that there are some communities that have people that like to build model airplanes, or you start to levitate towards that, and you start to want to engage more, and you start to have a sense of pride in, okay, there's other people that think like me, that feel these sort of things about planes and models and designs, and you start to come together and form bonds from that. And from all of this, you start to have healthier relationships, and you start to just see things in a clearer point of view. And I think it helps you become more grounded too. And because you start to understand that things take time, that it's important to not rush into something, to understand something. And once you do that, I think that helps with the give and take that can happen with being human. Because you start to understand, if you rush into something, oh, maybe this might happen, and maybe I should slow down a little bit and start to think clearer about this. Or you start to say, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself because of X, Y, Z. Maybe I should just rethink and try to understand that it's okay if things go this way. Let's see a different plan, and let's try to do that. Or you start to say, well, this just isn't working. And because particularly if you do things as far as building cars or what have you, a lot of things go wrong. And depending on what different hobby you have, a lot of things can go wrong, particularly more with automotive, because that's more of a concrete thing. I believe that people can understand, so many things and things goes on with repairing and fixing cars and restoring cars. You start to understand that it's important to see that things can go in all sort of different directions that you didn't even think that it could go into, and you can mold and build something from that. And it's okay to see things from that point of view, that you don't necessarily have to set yourself to something that's so rigid, that's discipline and being persistent, and to make yourself accountable to be persistent. And I think once we move ourselves into that direction, we start to see things in a better point of view. And I think that as far as careers and all of that, you start to, let's say, for instance, you use your hobbies to form a business, or you go into a particular section that has to do with the hobby that you like. A particular sector. That's the better word choice here. That you like from a hobby. It doesn't seem like work. You don't seem like you're moving in a direction that someone's telling you have to do. You start to mold a life for yourself to where it's just you centric. That it's just how you want to see yourself and how you want to be. And it doesn't feel like work. And unfortunately, a lot of people unfortunately, a lot of people are attracting themselves to sectors that it seems like that's what they're supposed to do, or they're not very particularly happy with that, or it's just not bringing them their goals that they're seeking, and they just are that leads to being disgruntled and all of these unnecessary things that are going on now, and that's gone on previously in previous generations. All this just unhealthy things that happen in the workplace expanded just because people are going in directions that they don't want to go in, or they're not understanding that those directions that they're in, you work through them until you get to a better place. So, for instance, let's add on to that. You might be in a job that you don't really particularly like, but that can lead to something else, and then being persistent for it to lead to something else can help you understand why this particular job is necessary at this certain time in your life. And I think that's important. These are important conversations to have when we start talking about hobbies and things of this nature. So with that being said, I'm reaching the end of this podcast. This is the Harboring Light. I hope you enjoyed what you just heard.